Next we have is a reading comprehension passage with a set of 4 questions. Let's look at the first question. The last paragraph of the passage serves to bring which of the following statements to light. Let's read the last paragraph again. So why am I talking of the muri when I talk of diaspora and food? Probably because for me the diasporic foodie always has to make do with an ad hoc assemblage of ingredients. Miserly teaspoons of homemade preserves that must last for an year or 6 months before supply is restored. Spices that always taste a tad different on olive oil. The diasporic foodie, straddling the worlds between nostalgia and newfound adventure for taste, a newer palate, and newer flavors, does just that. Every dish stands in between a memory of taste filtered through longing and ingredients at hand. Curcumin instead of turmeric, some mild version of paprika instead of the real deal, the Rajasthani red chili powder, kurbis that doesn't look like kaddu, and nobody ever peels these strange looking cucumbers. Let's read our options. Option A says, for an expatriate, food becomes the link between home and host countries. Author has tried to say this throughout the passage and also in the last paragraph, where he's saying that the place where we are living and the place that where we come from, these two are linked through our tastes and our longings for that food. So X instead of Y and Y instead of X is what are linked to these two places is. Hence option A will become correct. Option B says the immigrant does not have access to Indian foods in the market. This cannot be verified by the passage because we do not know whether these markets really serve Indian food or not. Option C says the immigrant does not have enough money and so he spends very little on ingredients. This again cannot be verified from the passage because we do not know how much money he really has. Option D says the diasporic individual is used to the food habits of host nation. This is incorrect because the paragraph says that although you get used to them, you are always longing for what you know is the real thing, and hence you only make do with what is available in the host country, and hence option D is also incorrect. The correct answer to this question will become option A. Which of the following is mentioned in the passage as the reason for puffed rice concoction to be considered a delicacy? The author clearly mentions in the second and the third paragraph that several things were added to the concoction to make it all the more delicious. In the beginning of the third paragraph, that the add-ons increase the taste of concoction greatly. So option D is the correct answer because option D says the various supplementary food items added to the mixture added to the taste. And hence the correct answer to this question will become option D. Option A says the main ingredients always remain the same and hence the delectable taste was never compromised. This is incorrect. Option B says the green chilies and a generous quantity of mustard oil made all the difference in the taste. This is only partly correct because although green chilies and mustard oil are mentioned as major ingredients of the concoction, the author states in the third paragraph that hint of mustard oil and not an abundant quality of mustard oil is needed. So generous quantity of mustard oil will become incorrect. Option C says the most delicious puff rice concoction was sold in the restaurants. Option C is again incorrect because throughout the passage author indicates that puff rice concoction was mainly prepared at home and not sold in the restaurants, and it was a delicacy which was very personal to home. So the correct answer to this question will become option D. Let's look at the next question. The next question says, the second paragraph of the passage suggests which of the following about the addition of green chilies. The correct answer to this question is option A, which says people from the eastern side of pre-independent India were always fond of making their puff rice concoctions hot by adding green chilies. The author mentions in the fourth sentence of the second paragraph that people from the eastern side of undivided Bengal preferred adding green chilies to their puff rice concoctions. Option B, C and D are incorrect. Option B is incorrect because the author makes very generic statement about people from East Bengal. Option C is incorrect because green chilies were mandatory ingredients in the concoction, although other material were individual choices. Option D is wrong because the author mentions that whenever someone had stomach aches, he was given a bowl of spice-less puffed rice soaked in water. So, for stomach aches, chopped green chilies were added to puffed rice soaked in bowl of water would become incorrect because it was given a spiceless form of the concoction. So, D will also become incorrect. The correct answer to this question will become option A. The next question in this reading comprehension is, Which of the following options captures the sense of the passage? Option A says the evolution of puffed rice concoction, mapping the evolution of puffed rice concoction, the culinary crisis of diasporic individual, absence of key food ingredient in a foreign country, the east-west divide of erstwhile Bengal exemplified through the puffed rice concoction. Although A, D and C are mentioned in the passage, B is what forms the sense of the captures the sense of the passage or forms the main idea of the passage, because it talks about the puff rice concoction and it also talks about the culinary crisis of diasporic individuals, two very important elements of the passage. Hence option B will become the correct answer.